Geology rocks. This is the very basalt that a lot of dinosaur footprints can be found in throughout the Pioneer Valley. But my point in coming up here, the southern end of Goat Peak, is to someone's cement thing, is to look at towards the south. And although it's extremely bright, looking towards the sun, you can see towards Goat Peak. I think this is the very peak itself. We went kind of sideways along that one, and that's regular Mount Tom back there behind that pine tree. That's looking towards Holyoke, and the Connecticut River is visible from here as it winds back around from this area, or from where to the left of us here. You can kind of see it through the trees a little bit there as we go down in that direction, and that's, I'm sure, the dam or the area down there above Holyoke or around Holyoke, Chicopee, where the fish ladders are and so forth, before the Connecticut makes it, or the Connecticut River makes its way even farther south. And I believe in its most southern portion down there, I'm not absolutely sure, but I believe that is I want to say Enfield, Connecticut. I'm not sure where exactly that would be, but I believe that mountain peak down that direction, maybe Monson. I'm not absolutely sure of that either. What is the name of it? Peaked Mountain. I think that's what that is. It seems like it would be fitting, but Peaked Mountain could also be to the east of here, significantly. But the Holyoke, tail end of the Holyoke Range is Mount Tom, I guess, on this side. The last sort of ripple before it hits the river, and then the mountains to the west in the Berkshires, the southern portion of the Berkshires, and so forth. So I don't see any dinosaur footprints necessarily, but what I'm seeing is the basalt that's chiseled and chipped away and cracked and broken in the heat of the sun and all of the atmosphere that it handles, and the divots and imprints in it. There are things that look like they could be potential footprints, and every now and then you see a marking and you think, oh, well, that could be, and it could be something like that. And maybe there are pieces of footprints in this section of basalt, but I think many of the very visible footprints have been mocked up and are on in other sections where they're marked off and where they've been designated as dinosaur footprints. And that doesn't mean that there's only one site that has dinosaur footprints. They are actually all over. Anywhere there's this layer of stone, the basalt, which formed the edge of Lake Hitchcock, which is sweeping back through the Pioneer Valley here and the upper portion of the valley, what's beyond me, which you can't see from this area, the Oxbow, and heading north. But all of this area was at one time underwater, and this very hillside and slope would have been sandy and or lower down and continued to get upheaval and lifted through the eons into what is today the Holyoke Range and the Berkshires and so on. And the Oxbow was created much later. So there's all of that. Geology does rock, and it is fascinating, and thank you for being part of this series. Cheers.